Hello everyone and welcome back to Poetry Surprises. Now, it's a lovely day, so I'm now sitting in the backyard enjoying the sunshine. But I want to talk about imagination today. Now, when I tell people that I write poetry, I often get the strangest reply. Do you know what it is? I could never write poetry. I've got no imagination. Now, when I hear that, face to face, I come out with some kind of polite reply, oh, well, you can develop it and things like that. But because we're on camera now, I can look you in the eye and I can ask you a question. Are you human? Because if you're human, you've got imagination. Now, maybe you're a cyborg, but if you're looking at this, you're probably not. So I'm sorry, but if you're human, you've got imagination. So let's have a look at this 5-syllable word, imagination. Now, I want to say 3 things about it, just 3 things. And I'm not being etymological here. I'm not going to go down into the depths of history and etymology. I'm going to be more playful than that. But let's take the first thing that occurs to me about the word imagination is it has the word implied in it at the very beginning, image. Image is at its core. Imaging things is what we do all the time, not only when we write poetry, but even when we cross the road or bake a cake. We're imaging what the situation is going to be in the near future. And we create images all the time for our feelings, our thoughts, our hopes and our fears. Of course, the image is pretty fundamental. It's not absolutely the only thing, but it's pretty fundamental to poetry and to what we do as poets. So that's the first thing, the image. Now the second one is even more fanciful. Imagination contains the word nation. Now, I want you to think that imagination is your world, it's your domain, your nation, belongs to you. It's what you have, what you share through language and through your work, your hopes and aspirations. But it's a nation, it's a place, a realm. In other words, it's not simply a one-off, it's happening all the time and you populate it with your thoughts and feelings. And the other and last one, which is the third and most fanciful of all 3, that I'd like you to take on board with the idea of imagination, is that word image is actually 2 syllables, Mage. Yep, magic. You are the creator. You conjure things into existence with your imagination. So Mage brings the most incredible things into reality. Creates something that was never there before. It remixes the ingredients of all the images that float around you and you're in control of it. It's Mage. I am the magician. So we've got images, we've got a realm for them to exist, and we've got the creator, the mage, the inventor. Now, how do you set the imagination free? Now that is what a lot of people might turn around and say to me, oh, yes, Bart, I can't liberate my imagination. How do you do that? Well, in a crazy kind of way, you just have to let it go. You have to relax, be easy, and let go. It's what you do every minute of the day in your head all the time. But instead of repressing it and pushing it to one side and think it's irrational and thinking it's not clever, you just enjoy it, revel in it, be free within it. And one of the ways that I do sometimes is I simply write down the first things that come into my head. And as you develop more and more techniques with poetry, like rhyme and rhythm, you can start playing around at the same time as you actually are generating imaginative ideas. And I think you are led sometimes by the sheer fruitfulness of your own imagination. Believe me, there's nobody with a dull imagination. The imagination is everything to the human. And to reflect that to some extent, I want to read you a poem which is in the latest collection, Rogue Seed, and it's kind of a crazy poem. It's called Nonsense, and nonsense verse often just follows its own lead. It is imagination gone wild, and this poem is called Nonsense, and it's crazy. The moon, I say, is many moons, as many as men that gaze upon it. The earth is blue, the earth is dark, depending on who's above or below it. And the man in a coat sails a salty boat to a land astronomers call remote, that nobody owns, where nobody reads, but corny love lyrics trouble the dead. Apples fell on the shadow hill, nobody picks them, nobody will. The dark crow cried as the big bomb blew, and the rhymester died as the ocean dried, and the lover sighed, and the boat ran aground with its crew. It's true. So what, said the crow, don't you know, don't you know? The maid leaves nothing to you or you, except the sound of a bomb and a Chinese gong and a serving of Danish stew. A few grains of pollen, some peat and a match, some salt and some bread for a trip on a plane you can't catch. The man in the boat gave the crow a brief note, which the crow recited aloud. Take these words, said the captain, to use as you see fit. Nothing's mine, neither lines, neither moons, nor a chime, nor a lightning-struck rhyme, nor the sea, nor a path, nor a trip on a raft, nor a tractor slicing the land like sand. Be you lame, be you fit, only clowns have the wit, though his lamp can't be lit. And that, said the crow, with a spaceship in tow, must be the end of it. As our little journey through the human imagination, you've got it, you've got loads of it, and I think the lesson of the day, enjoy it. Okay, thank you very much. Bye for now.